What can you do when your whole life falls apart, or when you feel that everything collapses? And maybe the life as you knew it before isn't there anymore. In times of personal crisis, everything is turned upside down. And most of the time, we don't have any idea how we can get out of it. And I've been there. And so many others have been there too. And if you're there now, then this video is for you. I will be sharing 9 powerful tips that worked for me and many others I've coached. Let's dive in. 1. Personal crises are part of life. I've talked about this in other videos. I've personally suffered a burnout at age 54. There are many different types of burnouts. Mine came with physical pain, day and night. Movement was painful and holding still was painful. Lying down was nearly impossible. I was not able to sleep. And to be honest, I had no idea how I would get myself out of this. And nobody was able really to tell me whether these symptoms would ever disappear or get better. And so I often felt completely shattered and thought, this is what my life is going to be now. Personal crisis is a normal thing in everybody's life. Some are small and some feel completely overwhelming. And from my personal experience, I can tell you, even if things feel hopeless, there is always hope. And nothing stays as it is, and that is good news. 2. Acceptance and taking responsibility. Everyone has their own personal way of reacting to the things that occur in our lives. My pattern, if I don't want something, I go in complete resistance mode, meaning I fight it inside of me. I just don't want to accept it. I'm battling against what is. And I did the same thing when I was in burnout. Now that doesn't make any sense at all, because what is happening and you cannot change it just by basically not accepting it and fighting against it. It actually made things much worse for me. And looking back today, I actually think it's funny. But of course, back then, I didn't find it funny at all. It was really hard for me. And that was a moment for me where I realized this crisis is bigger than any other I've ever had. And even though I'm used to making it all on my own and, just sticking it through, and I felt for the first time in my life, this one I'm not going to be able to deal with alone. This crisis is bigger than me. I need medical help. But not only just medical help, I also needed help from the people around me, because leading a normal life as I knew it before was no longer possible. And for me, that moment of admitting that this crisis is bigger than anything I've ever faced before, and I'm not going to be able to handle this one alone, was actually the moment when things started to shift. I started looking for the right help, and I really opened up to people around me, telling them how I really feel and that I need their help, that I don't know how I'm going to get through this on my own. And even now, talking about it is really hard for me because I'm just such a doer. And it was my pattern. Stick it through, solve it on your own, avoid dependencies. And whatever reason we may have for resisting what is actually happening in our life in times of personal crisis, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what is driving the resistance, but it does matter that the resistance is there. And the moment we accept the things as they are, that is actually where the power lies, and we can start shaping the situation or supporting the whole story, the whole crisis in a different way that we can't think of doing while we're busy fighting it. And from my experience, resisting what is intensifies the crisis. In my case, my pain got worse. And I think I could have gone through this much quicker had I realized that simply accepting things as they are and trying to deal with it on a step-by-step basis would have enabled me getting into a better solution space much faster. In times of personal crisis, of course, these times invite huge feelings, emotions as well. In my case, it was fear. Fear of my life being like this now until the end, never feeling better again, never being healthier. And the interesting thing is that once I accepted that I have this burnout and I have all of these pains now, and I need to think of how I'm going to deal with it and really getting the supportive mode for myself, the fear started going away as well. Giving up the resistance and accepting things as they are was a very important turning point for me in my burnout journey. And it also marks the point where I started taking responsibility for the situation. While before I kind of felt like a victim, I started changing my thinking into the direction of what are the things that I can really influence? What is in my control and what is not? And who can actually help me with this whole thing? Who do I need? 3, emotions and self-compassion. Fear, anger, sadness, feeling helpless, feelings of having lost the power in my life, over myself, over my body, over my life. All of these emotions can show up in a personal crisis. And the same thing applies actually, as long as we resist those emotions or we try to suppress them, they'll only get more intensive. So the first step here is also accepting how you feel. In my case, it was accepting, wow, I feel helpless. This is a very unusual emotion for me, and it scared the heck out of me. And it took a while before I was able to accept that, because my behavior pattern was, like I said before, pushing it through. I can master anything. And I'll be honest with you, for a long time I just tried to be strong. Because for me, it's not easy to admit that I'm actually feeling weak or even helpless. I am used to being in charge, and I like being in charge as well. And as strange as it may sound, I think out of today's perspective, that was exactly the learning I had to do. Learning how to deal with feeling helpless, being dependent, admitting that I'm not going to solve this alone, and looking for help. I've really changed through this experience. I would say that I've become softer, more kind with myself and others. And I've also learned that admitting your weakness is actually a real strength. It takes a lot of strength to admit you're helpless and lost and you don't know the way out. In my case, I can tell you the experience of actually opening up to others and telling them how I feel was a positive one. it wasn't a big deal for anybody in my field. The only one that made a big deal out of it was myself. And I learned that people around me were actually delighted to be there for me, because usually it was the other way around. So the good news here is, if we've chosen good people, kind people surrounding us, they'll be happy to be there for us. They'll be there to stick things through with us, even if the going gets tough. And if not, I'll be really honest, they're not the right people. It's never too late to course correct. We can change directions and we can select different people to support and guide us on our journey. And sometimes crisis has exactly that learning for us, to show us where we truly stand within ourselves, within our lives, and with the life that we've built for ourselves, the people that we've selected. And I think personal crisis is also there to shake things up a bit, to take away the illusion that we all enjoy being in, that we have things in control. In personal crisis, we see there are things that we cannot control. And for me, that learning that I'm not in control was a huge learning and has made me, I truly believe that, a better person than I was. I don't take things for granted, especially not my health. And had I not gone through that crisis, I wouldn't be where I'm standing today. For sure, I would not have created this YouTube channel and deciding to talk about it to help and inspire other people that are going through heavy stuff, hoping that my experience can support them, can support you, and help you get through your personal crisis in a much faster way than I did. So if you're going through something right now, please be kind to yourself. Accept what it is. Ask for help. Reach out to professionals and the people around you. Don't expect yourself to handle a crisis perfectly. It's impossible to do that. Just aim for supporting yourself in the very best way, step by step. 4, hope that things will get better. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now, no crisis lasts forever. And that is good news. And here's more good news. You will get through this. Yes, you will probably be changed. You and things may not be the same afterwards. And there will be a lot of things that you've learned from it. My deepest crisis was for sure that burnout that hit me. It took me years to heal, and I still have struggles. My health is not where it was, but I don't compare to what was there before, because that comparison does not help me. I am much better than I was, and I truly believe that I can yet get better day by day. Awareness and mindful living practices were really important tools for me, guiding me on this journey. And for me, it's not just practices, it's a new way of life. I live my life like this now. So I've grown tremendously through this experience, as painful as it was and sometimes still is. I see life and people completely different now. And I feel I see a bit more of the bigger picture than I did before. This bigger picture called life, or as the famous German father Anselm Grün said once, "Even your deepest wound can become a true pearl over time." And I think that is so true. And it's also a beautiful way to see it, a way that opens things up. And that is where hope comes into play. I know there's lots of people out there that think hope is useless. Well, let me tell you, I don't agree. In hard, really hard times, hope can be like a North Star. And I also felt in my own journey, hope was like holding the key. Because giving up hope in a situation like that leaves you nothing. Where do you go from there? But holding hope is believing things will get better. Believing and trusting in life and your own strength to get through this. That you have what it takes to get through your own life experiences, even if they're very hard. It's always worth believing that things will get better and that once you're through it, you will see the deeper meaning of it all. 5, take action, small steps. What really helped me in my personal crisis, the burnout, even in times of my pain, was starting to move, moving my body. Now, that being said, I wasn't able to do much. It was taking walks, short walks. But that's where I started. And just moving the body slowly, step by step, helped not only the body to regain strength, it also helped me going outside. And in some days it was just like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And I didn't have more strength than that. But these 5 or 10 minutes added up during my week. And I could really feel that this change started changing me, not just sitting there passively and hoping or praying that things will get better. Just one step at a time. Some days I wasn't able to walk alone. I needed somebody to walk with me, small walks. And I can tell you, once I was able to do 30 minutes straight, I was so happy. I can't even put it into words. I really felt the strength coming back. So move your body, obviously, in the way you see fit. And if you're very ill, please check with your doctor. I'm not a physician. Be mindful. Make mindful choices that match your life with the highest care that you can provide to yourself. In my case, moving the body helped my body regain some strength. 6, get support. This is the most important thing I want to say is get help. You don't need to go through your personal crisis alone, no matter what it is. Nobody needs to go through anything alone. It's all in our head. We think we need to do everything alone. It's an illusion. It's just in your head. And if you're anything like me and you think you need to do it alone, then let me tell you out of my experience, I made it unnecessarily hard for me. And I truly do believe from where I am today that it made me struggle much longer than I would have had to. Learning to ask for help is an important skill in life, and it can change everything. Allowing ourselves to be vulnerable gives somebody else the chance to care for us and support us. Allowing ourselves to be helpless gives ourselves the opportunity to learn to trust. I truly don't believe in doing everything alone. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would we be so many people of all different kinds if we're meant to go through everything alone? A personal crisis is always an invitation to get to know ourselves in a better way, because it lets us feel exactly where we stand, very honest, very true, and shows us where our limits are. 7, self-care and routine. When everything is in chaos, building a small routine is very helpful, and it can help you stabilize things a lot. For me, it was a couple of things that I did. Trying to get outside for a couple of minutes every day. I also tried to cook and eat healthy food, simply to help my body. Nourishing food, fresh food, vegetable, fresh protein. I also created small routines like a morning routine and an evening routine. I prioritized relaxation because I had this tendency to really overthink my whole situation, my problems, my pains, and everything. And I understood that I'm not helping myself. I need to step out of this pattern as often as I can. And doing guided meditations or relaxations really helped me pause that overthinking pattern. And it also helped me shift my thoughts and energy in a total different direction, which was super helpful. And another thought that helped me and kept me going in days that were really tough was reminding myself of how many crises I had already mastered in my life, and that I'm strong, that even if I'm not feeling it now, I have what it takes to get through my own life. I will grow into this. I've overcome struggles and crises before, and I can deal with this one as well. We've all been tested before, haven't we? And we've made it through. I truly believe we have what it takes to master the crisis, the personal crisis times that appear in our lifetime. That we have the skill and the resilience and the strength to pull it through. 8, crisis as inner growth. Personal crises are really painful. They often take something from us that was very important to us before. But just as often as we go through crisis, we learn afterwards what is really important to us, what truly matters. And looking back now, I can see that I truly think I needed to learn those lessons. I took my health for granted, absolutely. So I can say I truly learned something out of these lessons. I would have not volunteered those lessons, but I do really think that I needed to learn the things I learned, that I'm talking about in this video. And our life after going through a personal crisis, whatever it may be, is mostly different than it was before. Sometimes it brings a change, and that change is exactly what we need. 9, trust. I love seasons. And I usually say, after every hard winter comes a spring. No matter how hard that winter is, no matter how long it takes, spring will come. Nothing stays as is. And even if life feels cold right now, life does move in cycles, just as nature does. And we're part of nature at the end of the day as well. So we move through cycles too. In some cultures, we've just kind of lost the capability of seeing that as a natural thing. And we always want spring and summer. Nothing stays the same. Change happens. And if you're going through a change right now, then let me ask you, what can you do today to support yourself in a better way? My recommendation from my own experience would be, do something for yourself every day. Something to support you. Be good to yourself, be kind, be patient. Trust in yourself, trust in life, and trust in your capability to handle the crisis in your life, and also trust in life, that life is happening for us, even if we cannot see all ends at this stage. And just like me, you will make it through. Believe in yourself. If you've enjoyed this video, please share it with somebody that could also benefit from it. And if you like my channel or my style, I'd be happy if you subscribe and help my little channel to grow. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you, and see you soon.